Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all good. Hope you're not all snowed in. Obviously, a lot of the countries had a lot of snow. Where I am now, believe it or not, the sun is glaring down where we are, but we have had quite a bit of snow. I've not been into work today, not necessarily because of the snow, but job finished early. Anyway, you don't need to know that, do you? Right, the beer review we're doing now. It's a traditional sort of beer. It was one that I picked up from Trembling Madness, that probably more sort of known for their craft beers that they get, but they do have breweries that do traditional stuff. And we've got a beer from York Brewery, and this is a bottle of their Minster. I did say Minster before I get any naughty comments, and it's a New World Bitter coming in at 4.2% in a 500ml bottle. Lovely label. It's a plain silver bottle cap. And this cost me £2.35, so I think that's a pretty reasonable price. I think the going rate for any sort of singular beer you buy these days is pretty much £2, isn't it? So yeah, not a bad price. New World Bitters. What do I think of New World Bitters? Well, there's a lot of breweries that do. They don't necessarily always call them New World Bitters. They call them bitters, but they have all like this sort of craft sort of hop in them. Personally, I do like a bitter that tastes like a bitter. I suppose if you use them New World hops, that's great and what have you. But it's got to taste like a bitter for me. It's still got to have that traditional feel. And I think a lot of the time that doesn't always work. I've had a New World bitter from Lord's Brewing, that was decent. Chosen Man, I think that one was called. That was decent. So I'm hoping this is going to be decent. And I did have a look on the bottle before, just to see really what, like I said, New World Bitter, what are they putting into this? And so I looked at the ingredients and what have you, and the hops and that, to see what they've done with theirs. And it's saying on the side here, Minster is a golden ale with a full malt character and beautiful hop palate. You want some hop taste in there. It's got to be malty as well. A trio of American hops, Centennial, Chinook and Citra, brings a big citrus punch to the party, while New Zealand Pacific Gem gives a fresh bitterness. York Brewery, since its founding in 1996, York Brewery is poor, blah blah. Anyway, so it's a bitter, New World Bitter. It's using American hops. It's using citrus hops. On this occasion, now I normally use Dimple Glass, but I'm going to go with this one. And I'll just tell you another quick story behind this. If you can see on there, Armchair Beer Festival 2020. Now I got this from Pitchfork Ales. Now sadly, they've gone under last week. It turns out that they went under, but they were the first one to do an online beer festival. So, and I had the chance, I happened to go on holiday in 2021 just to down to Weston-super-Mare, which is where they were based. Got into the brewery, picked some beers up, I reviewed some of their stuff, and that's where I got the glass from. They very happily gave me one of them, and they said, treasure that one because that's a rare thing. So shame on them. Shame that they've disappeared. Nobody likes to see a brewery close, but we're going to chuck it in that glass, and that's pretty a traditional sort of standard style glass. So let's shut up, get the beer open, and start doing the review. Took this out about an hour ago, out the fridge. So there is still a slight still a slight chill on it. But I actually think with the hops that are in it may well improve it. I don't know. But we'll just roll with it. It's not exactly ice cold. It's not hot. Or warm, I should say. So, beer in a glass. Right, let's ignore me. This is about York Brewery and their Minster New World Bitter. Beer in a glass. It's quite a light bitter, isn't it? It's sort of like golden amber in colour. It's not a nucleated glass. We've got a few bubbles going up, and we've got a compact head. So let's give her a swirl and see what we get on the nose. Yeah, you get the citrus sort of, you get a fruity citrus aroma. It's a different aroma to a bitter, for a standard sort of bitter that you might think. There is a bit of maltiness in there, but the big thing for me is it doesn't smell like an IPA. And that's what I found maybe with some of the bitters that I've had that have been craft ones. sometimes they smell like an IPA. But yeah, it's got more, I would say, of a golden ale aroma. Excuse me, got a bit of gas coming up. Yeah, it's got more of a golden ale feel rather than sort of like a traditional bitter. So let's stop sniffing, waffling and all that shit. Dive in, have a taste. Cheers. It's different. It is different. My first impression, as soon as I had that mouthful, was it's almost a hybrid beer. It's golden ale, it's bitter, and they're sort of blending. You sort of get that. For me, the initial taste was sort of golden ale. The back sort of side of it was a bitter feel to it. But let's get all the other stuff out of the way that I normally do. The body on it isn't heavy, but it's a sessionable body. And at 4.2%, it's a sessionable ABV. So you're going to drink it really well. It's going to be really easy to drink. It's smooth. I think it's pretty soft. I think they've got the carbonation in this absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on. The mouthfeel and everything just feels just right. Maybe it's my own personal taste, because you know we're all going to have different tastes, aren't we, to what we drink and how we like our beer. But for me, this is bang on. Absolutely bang on. And that was one of the things that I thought as soon as I tasted it, I thought, this feels just right. Taste wise, you sort of get the citrus notes, the hops, but you are greeted with the maltiness as well. The maltiness sort of overpowers the hoppiness, which is nice, because you wouldn't want too much of that sort of citrus thing going on, because I think then you could start thinking, oh, hang on, it's a little bit too much IPA. But I think with that maltiness, that typical sort of, there's something about bitters, you get that sort of certain taste, and I think the maltiness is a big thing in there, that malt character. Yeah, that maltiness. And then it's quite ironic, isn't it, because my first impressions was golden ale bitter, but when I sit here and analyse it, you get the maltiness of a bitter, and then the golden ale a little bit takes over with the hops and the taste. But I would say on the back end, the hop thing disappears and you are left with that maltiness. It's not so bitter on the back end, in all fairness, but it's a really nice drop. It's really sessionable, really drinkable. It goes down well. I also think at the temperature it's at, which I don't know exactly, you know, it's been out the fridge for a while, but I think that's bang on at that temperature. So yeah, not old, not, you know, it's different to a proper full-on old school bitter, but I think they've got the balance just right on this one. So for me, York Brewery's Minster New World Bitter is definitely well worth a try. I think it's well worth investigating. It's a little bit of a hybrid beer for me. I think it's a little bit golden ale, a little bit bitter, but it's a decent drop and enjoyable. And at 500ml for £2.35, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So yeah, give it a go. Trembling Madness, I got it from. If you're in York or something, you're going to be able to pick it up everywhere, no doubt. But yeah, if you want to order it, Trembling Madness, give it a go. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.